And we're back. The Regular Fan Show back at you after a long, long week off. Busy times, busy lives, but never fear. Vinny Fredericks and Bruce Juno back with you on another Tuesday morning. I had to double check that it was actually a Tuesday morning. We are back ready to talk all things March Madness as the mayhem has begun. Mr. Bruce Juno, good morning, my friend. Long time no see.
I know it's been a while, my guy. We have lives as well as trying to do this podcast, like Vinny said. Um, but hey, we've been keeping up tabs with the madness that has been ensuing in March, or
Yep.
partially lack thereof. A lot of madness that's been
Yeah, I
taking
was
place. But
curious to hear your stance on it all.
there's been stuff. There's been certain games that have been you know, just boring. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
we'll get into it, but like my take on like Sunday was all the way up until Maryland, Colorado State. It was just kind of a boring day. So
Yeah.
um, I think there hasn't been enough madness, but I mean realistically, you can't expect there to be crazy 15-14s every season, and a lot of my sleepers kind of didn't look as good as they look usually. So I
Mhm.
don't know if it was nerves or whatnot, but yeah, it's been a great time. Everyone loves March.
That is true. It's been very chalky. We'll give it that. There's really no double digit seeds, which I mean, I guess if you count 10 seeded Arkansas, but I don't look at Arkansas as a real, double digit seed. They have Coach Cal. They're they're not your typical Cinderella run, but it's been interesting. I mean, I guess you could still call it good basketball. There's been good games, but you haven't really had that madness. It's been underwhelming, if you will, and maybe that has something to do with the NIL portal and the way that the transfer window has completely changed. But it's crazy that dudes are already in the transfer portal, and there's the Sweet 16 hasn't even started yet, and dudes are already. I'm pretty sure there's a guy on Michigan who's already in the portal, and they're still
Well,
playing.
realistically, in my opinion, Michigan should not still be in March Madness. I don't know how they're doing what they're doing, but
Yeah.
hey,
Well, I
that's
tell
why
you what, I think they have
I
a
think of that as an upset. So there, we're in March. We're in March.
I think they have a chance to beat Auburn, if I'm being real.
I
I
don't.
really
I
do.
mean, I guess the way that I mean, realistically, they haven't been playing that great. Yeah, they beat A&M. Wouldn't think they would. I didn't think they were going to beat A&M. UCSD realistically should have beat them, but
Well, they got off to a slow
beggars,
start.
yeah, beggars can't be choosers. Um, Michigan pulled it out in the end. So I mean, they beat A&M by 12. That was, I mean, A&M didn't look pretty. But I mean, hey, I don't think they could beat Auburn, but I guess is it the Sweet 16 where the Madness is actually going to start
Yeah, could be.
when the Crab
I just
Five
think, I
takes
mean, they
down
got
the Florida Gators.
they got, I mean, Auburn, we know that their offense is run through Janai Broom, and if there's one thing that Michigan has, it's height. They got two talented 7-footers out there that I think should have no problems containing Janai Broom, and if they're going to force Auburn to beat them from the outside, I think Michigan has a shot in this one. Looking at the games coming up, I feel like they have the best chance at an upset. Besides that, I'm really going like all chalk here. Maybe I'd consider Arkansas over Texas Tech. Maybe I'd consider BYU over Alabama. But
Yeah, I mean,
I
I'm
like
sorry, I don't
Michigan
mean to
over
cut
Auburn.
you off, but
No, it's okay. It's okay. Sorry.
I,
Sorry.
I, I like
All
this
right. It's
is a
your show.
round
I'm
where
just here.
no, yeah. It's my world. You're just living in it, Vinny. Come on now.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
I forgot.
no, so it's realistically, we'll go back through the games, but I think there could be a couple upsets brewing. But I've been saying that since the get go, and it hasn't really gone my way. But I mean,
Yeah.
I have been low on Michigan the whole time, so I don't think Michigan could beat Auburn. I think Ole Miss could beat Michigan State. Do I think they will? No. Duke, I don't think Caleb Love's going to be able to do enough. Plus, the Duke game against Baylor, Cooper Flag, if he got breathed on, they called a foul. So if that goes the same
Yeah.
way, then Duke will be advancing from that one. Um, BYU, I have BYU to the Elite Eight.
I just think at some point Alabama's got to slow down.
Well, Alabama looked terrible to end the season. Yeah, they had that double overtime. I think it was double overtime win over Auburn, but
Mhm.
realistically, they did not look good to end the season. And I think they might be kind of picking it up, but at the same time, are they? Because they only won by 9 against Robert Morris.
Yeah, and they gave up 81 in that game.
Yeah, and I mean Robert
That's
Morris is
awful.
a scoring team, but did I think they were one of those teams that would really be competitive in the first round as a 14, 15, 16?
No.
No. So, and then I mean they kind of picked it up against St. Mary's, who I mean I guess isn't as good as Robert Morris. We've found out
Yeah,
that
like
St.
I mean, I
Mary's is
guess the defense looked better, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like Alabama with the pace that they play at some point in a tournament setting, they're gonna crash and burn. You know, in the
yeah.
regular season when they're playing 2 games a week, it's cute. It's all right. You know, they have ample time between games to really rest up. But now, you know, they're playing Thursday, and I guess once you make it this far, now they have ample time to kind of recover between games. But I still think that after a while, the pace that they like to play at is just going to catch up with them. And all it takes is one game where they're not shooting lights out. And if they're facing a team like an Arizona or like a Duke that can, you know, score at will almost any possession, yeah, I think Alabama is starting to get to that point because it seems like year in and year out that this is the same storyline with them. They crash and burn.
Yeah, it really is. And they're such a high scoring team. And I mean, this year, like realistically, they have the guys, but at the same time, I feel like it still all kind of runs through Mark Sears.
It
Like,
does.
and if
100%.
he slows down, then Bama will slow down, which is
Hmm.
like, it's a
That's not
weird
their game.
contrast. Yeah, it's a weird contrast because I feel like they have the guys that could kind of do it like better than in the past with this type of situation, but at the same time, I don't think they will, which is
Hmm.
kind of a weird take.
No, like I hear what you're saying. You know,
Counterintuitive.
like yes, Mark Sears runs that offense very well, but it's such high risk, high reward because they, you know, they're a team that thinks that offense is going to win them a championship. And you can have the best offense in college, but it's basketball. You know, one day someone's going to be having an off night. Look at St. John's and RJ Lewis. You know, you think that if he
Yeah.
didn't shoot 3 for 20 or whatever it was that
3
they
for
would have won. Yeah.
17.
Yeah. Like, sure, they would have won. If Mark Sears goes out and shoots 3 for 20, then they're not going to win either. You know,
But
so
does he get benched? Does he get sat the last 7 minutes of the game?
That's a whole different. We can get into that in a little bit. That's a whole different
Yeah.
conversation about Patino and St. John's because I don't necessarily disagree. I just think he should have done it a little bit differently. We'll get into it, but
Yeah, I mean, well,
um,
I mean, Nate Oates isn't Rick Pitino, so I don't really
yeah,
know if he would, but
I
it's also a
wouldn't
scenario that
I
we don't
wouldn't
know if
see
it's
that
going to happen.
happening. Rick Pitino's an old school guy. You know, he's been around coaching for a long time. He's got a different mindset than some of these other coaches. But yeah, as far as Alabama goes, I just don't think that the style that they play with in Tuscaloosa is sustainable in a tournament. And we've seen that the last few years
Yeah.
because when you don't have a defense that you can rely on, you don't, I mean, you know, defense travels. Offense, you're playing in different gyms. Some nights you just don't have it. Some nights the refs aren't calling as much or calling too much. There's a lot of factors and a lot of things that can go wrong when you strictly rely on your offense to win your games.
Yeah, and I mean they're playing like a BYU. That game, Alabama BYU, it might go over 300. Like that game, it could
Well,
be.
do you see the over under is set at 175.5?
And I might slam the over. Like those two teams shoot lights out, and
That is insane.
like those two teams are actually just shooters, all offense, all gas, no break, dude. Those
Has
teams
no
are just
breaks.
runners. They can shoot lights out of rooms, and so I could see that game being like 109 to 106. Like I could see
Oh my
that
God.
over actually going crazy. I am 100 not like I've barely missed any games this March because of work or I'll be doing something for work.
Attaboy.
But other than that, I have not missed a game, and that game I don't care. I will not be missing that game because there will only be points. There will be no defense. That will be only scoring.
Well, I hope you're not doing anything Thursday at 7:09 because I wouldn't want to miss that.
Might have
game
something
either.
going on then, but we'll have it in the ear. We'll put the AirPod in while
Yep.
we're running around.
Quick side note. I don't like the way that this is set up. How you got a game starting at 7:09 and then another at 7:40. Like why is there not a 5 o'clock game? Why are we playing two games at the exact same time? In the round of 64, I get it. But it's the Sweet 16. You have 4 games on in one night. You can't space them out so that they're all, not overlapping.
Well, it's because it's because 2 of the games, like Duke. Actually, let me double check the days.
Well, I know, the
something really
BYU, Bama,
stupid.
and Duke, Arizona. They're both in the East region. They're playing in the same arena. I get that.
Yes. Okay, yes. I was just making sure they were the same day, and I think it's
No, yeah,
because they like having it staggered. So they have 2 games on. They like having 2 games on at once, so you could watch them both or whatnot. And then I think they like having it staggered so that when BYU, Bama ends, Maryland, Florida will still be going on up until Duke, Arizona.
I guess that makes sense. But it's
it's weird.
It's
it is
because
weird.
Naturally, I'm watching that Florida game from start to finish. But
yeah,
I also want to see BYU and no. The Crab 5 nickname is cute and all, but Derek Queen traveled on that game winner, and he's not getting away with that against Florida.
No, there was a step through.
There's no gather step in college.
That was a step through.
It is there's no gather step in college basketball. It's against the rules.
Clearly there is. So I don't know.
No, look, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have called a travel there either. In the moment,
you can't. Realistically,
you can't.
Whether you think it was or whether you think it wasn't,
I don't actually
call
think it was,
a travel in that spot.
No, if the refs did, they would have been. Oh my! They wouldn't have made it out of the arena.
Chastised, dude. They would have been sent to the arcs of hell and
would have been sent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, dude. They would have been forever banned from everything.
No, but it was a great game winner.
Yeah, dude.
It's one of those rules where the NCAA knows in the rule book there's no gather step. It's not the NBA. It's against the rules. But I'm sure they tell the refs to just ignore it, because if they called it every single possession that it happens, these games would be 35-30 finals.
Yeah. Because, realistically, a minute earlier, Gillespie did the same thing. He kind of took that third step with his foot slid, and they didn't call it. And I was like, you can't really call it in that situation. But when Love hit that 3, I thought it was over. When Love hit that 3, I was like, that's going in. That left his hand, and I was like, that's going in. The Crab 5, once again, are getting beat basically at the buzzer. They have 4 times this season.
Yep.
And no, they finally got one in their favor. And
yeah,
I was gonna.
Maybe this is part of the lack of real madness. That's our first buzzer beater. March Madness. We've had some great games, but you look. Aside from that Maryland and Colorado State game, I think the only other game that came down to a last-second finish was Alabama State and St. Francis in the first 4.
That was a crazy finish. That was a crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out, dude. Shout out the Hornets.
You watch that, and you're thinking, oh, this March is going to be great. We already got some crazy finishes, and we haven't seen that many tight games so far this March, and I guess Michigan, UC San Diego was close, but UC San Diego
came down to
that
whole
game. Yeah, but UCSD trailed the whole game. It was fun watching them come back. But
same with the Clemson was down 19 at half. They had scored 13 points against McNeese in the first half, and then they came back to lose by 2.
Yeah, like all the close games, it's been these teams trying to make these miraculous comebacks and then just fall short. But I don't know. I feel like we just haven't had the Cinderella runs that we used to get. We haven't had any of the March legends. Like
Yeah.
Derek Queen. Okay, fine. He had his March moment. Outside of him,
As a freshman,
yeah, that's got to be pretty sick.
he said, "Give
But, like,
me the MF ball."
as a freshman is insane.
Yeah,
But you gotta
coach
love
was
it.
like,
You gotta love the
"I
confidence.
bet." All right,
You gotta love the
let's do
dog
it.
mentality. You say, "Give me the ball."
Yeah, I wouldn't want it in anyone else's hands, though. Realistically,
No, that's a good point. When he's your best player, he gets the ball. It's simple as that.
just put him downhill. Let the man cook. When I first saw that shot, so realistically, when you see it in real time, it looked like a normal kind of like, he just kind of jumped, little bank shot from maybe like 5 feet. When they show the replay from like down court, he's like 10 feet fading away. Like
It's a tough
I was
shot.
like, geez.
It's a tough shot for sure. But I'm hoping we get more of that in this Sweet 16 and so on.
Yeah.
Because this March, I mean, it's been good. We've had a lot of competitive games, but we haven't really had those lasting moments.
Those one shining moments.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't had this shining moment.
One shining moment. Dude,
But hopefully we get more of that soon.
I was telling you this, obviously. I wanted to get a Crab 5 jersey so bad.
Yeah.
I was going to custom order. I made it and everything. It was made. It was ready to go because I know that you are such a big Florida fan, and I love the Crab 5. So I was like, this would be a fun thing to do this week. Maryland versus Florida, Crab 5. I knew you were going to wear your Florida sweatshirt. I was like, I gotta get this jersey. Bro, the price, it's like
funny.
Express shipping, the price like doubles and it doesn't get here for another 3 days still. But then if I don't express ship it, it's not here for 3 weeks. I'm like, dude, I need it now.
Well, you could always order it and hope that in 3 weeks they're still alive. But
the tournament will be over.
Well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. Maybe you should buy a Walter Clayton Jr. jersey.
No, maybe I buy it now, so then when they win on Thursday, I'll have it for this weekend.
I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. All I'm going to say is if Florida loses to Maryland on Thursday, yeah, they play Thursday, right? Yeah. If Florida loses to Maryland on Thursday and we hop on for a weekend show and you're wearing a Maryland Crab 5 jersey, I'm leaving.
I don't care. I'll do the whole show myself.
Yeah, you can do the whole show by yourself.
They are my team now. My team heading into March, I would say it was Akron. I was very high on the Zips.
They were very high on the Zips. So what happened? What happened to the Zips?
They crashed and burned, dude. I don't know what happened. They looked like they hadn't played a game of basketball in their entire life.
93-65.
Yeah, that was awful. That was atrocious. Arizona just took over that game. Akron looked like my high school basketball team, and it was just absolutely atrocious. So then I was like, all right, no longer got Akron to roll with. We kind of got like McNeese, right? Because we got Amir Khan and McNeese. The storyline just has been building since last season. They got Will Wade, former LSU, even though I don't like LSU. It's just a cool storyline from McNeese. But I was like, I also got to have a team that's like kind of good too. I got to root for a team that's like not a 10 or worse. There's obviously the Johnnies, right? That's just kind of, New York. You got to rock with the Johnnies. But I was like, the Crab 5. You can't not rock with the Crab 5. I was like, the Crab 5 are now my team throughout the tournament, and they're going to win the Natty.
I don't get what it is about all the teams that you like, I guess besides Akron and McNeese. But what is it about like the good teams, the higher seeds that you like being in the same region as my Florida Gators?
Dude, I don't know. It's just kind of
you got all these other teams out there. You can't root for Michigan State. You can't root for Arizona or BYU. You got to go with the ones going against Florida.
Who I think's gonna win it all is Auburn. Like I have a futures that Auburn wins
I don't
it all.
know. I'm honestly I'm
just saying, and I ride with my futures. I do still think Auburn's gonna win it all.
I completely understand. You know, you're going for your money. Oh, there's the gallon. There's the jug. How has your 75 hard challenge been going?
Dude, it's been cooking, dude. I've been doing it for 3 weeks, give or take a couple days. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been doing it
it's
for
been about
something like that.
it's been about 3 weeks.
I have lost 25 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That is impressive.
Yeah, I was at my buddy's. We were watching March Madness, playing some cards on Saturday, and I was like, "Yo, let me step on your scale." I haven't stepped on a scale since I started this. And I go up to a scale, and I see what it says, and I was like, "This isn't right." And so I made him recalibrate it, and then it said the same thing, and I was like, "Jeez, no way!"
Damn.
So yeah, I'm down
Attaboy.
25.
Good
From
stuff.
240
good
to
stuff.
215.
There we go.
We're cooking, dude.
Hey,
We're cooking out here.
you're doing good, buddy. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. I can
Thank
never
you.
do it. I can barely survive off what I eat presently. If I had
Yeah,
to only
well,
eat
it's
healthy
good
foods, I
not.
just wouldn't eat.
It does suck kind of with the job that I have, having to
Yeah.
work so much and then working at night and whatever, and not being able to get McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing
I
every
feel like
day.
I feel like when we were in college,
Shout
we
out
got
McDonald's,
fast
sponsor
food
us, please.
because oh man, ooh, that'd be huge.
Bring
then
back
you'd have
the
to start
chicken
eating
Big
it
Mac.
again. You'd have to start eating it again though.
They can. They got don't they have those grilled chicken bites? Or are those discontinued or something?
I don't know. I know Chick-fil-A has grilled chicken bites, but
All right,
I don't know
Chick-fil-A
about
sponsor us.
McDonald's. All right, there we go. That's something. But in college and whatnot, we'd get fast food because we were broke and it was cheap.
Yeah.
Now we're no longer all that. Well, we're still kind of broke, but we're not as broke.
Yeah.
And now we just don't have the time.
Exactly. It's just real world.
We have no choice.
None of us are working 9 to 5s. We're not.
Yeah, especially the jobs we're doing. We might have 20 minutes between A and B where we have that 20 minutes to eat before we got to go do something.
Yeah, and it's not
and we're screwed.
If I cook something to bring to work, then I'm still not able to eat it until after I'm done work because I'm constantly going. So it's what's the point?
It's like humans just weren't meant to actually eat. It's like humans were meant to just go.
So that's an interesting take you got there, fella.
I'm just saying we don't have enough time in the day to eat all this
all these meals.
Time. Yeah, we just got stuff we got to do.
Exactly.
If only we just gained energy from the sun or something.
Dude, yeah. Imagine we just photosynthesized.
That's what I'm saying. If we just
imagine we had a mitochondria.
We do have mitochondria.
Do we?
Yeah. All right.
I thought that's the powerhouse. Oh, that's the powerhouse of the cell. What am I talking?
Yeah.
What am I trying to think of?
I don't know. I know plant cells have a cell wall.
Or chlorophyll.
Chloroform is not. I know what you're thinking of.
Can you tell I wasn't very good at science, dude? Can you tell science was never my subject?
Well, it's honestly worse for me because science was one of my subjects. I loved science.
Yeah, you're over here absolutely clowning on every answer I give right now. Bro, my eye looks like Cooper Flags did against Baylor. Why can't I open my eye?
Well, I know it's definitely not chloroform because I'm pretty sure chloroform is what you use to knock people out when you're trying to kidnap them.
What makes plants live?
This went from a what's it called? This went from it's chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll. I knew it was chloro something, dude.
All right, we did it. We got there together.
I knew it was chloro something. I thought there was.
I guess we've decided that this has gone from a sports podcast to a science podcast real quick.
Yeah, and now introducing our special guest, Bill Nye.
Dude, imagine if we got Bill Nye on the pod.
Bill Nye just to talk about sports for about 2 seconds and then just to learn about science.
Yep. Tell us the science of why Derek Queen's game-winning buzzer beater went in.
Yeah, talk to us about this angle. Talk about the angle of how
we could bring that. You remember Sports Center Sports Science?
No, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I was gonna say that was a staple of our childhoods.
I was about to say that
That's what we
was.
need to bring back, but specially hosted by Bill Nye. Tony gets it. Tony in the
Come on,
Twitch chat. He understands.
Tony. Shout out Tony.
He gets it. All right, we can get
You like
back
my
to
UCLA hat?
I do like that UCLA hat. That's nice.
I found it. I got this. My uncle gave this to just another
It
side quest
it
I'm
looks
going
like
on
a
right now.
throwback.
Yeah, it's he gave it to me like I was probably like 6.
and it fits now.
Oh, we had to loosen it quite a bit, but I found it. I haven't seen this hat in like 10 years, and I just so happened to have brought it to my apartment, and I found it, and I was like, because I was looking for it, because I had this one, and I have a Notre Dame one too, and obviously I have a bunch of Syracuse ones, but I was like, I gotta switch it up, and so I went looking, and I found them, and I found this one. I didn't find a Notre Dame one, but UCLA lost anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
yeah, I was gonna say if only they were still playing in the tournament.
If only they beat Tennessee, but I knew they weren't going to beat Tennessee because I didn't think they should have beat Utah State. But they clowned on Utah State. They gave UCLA or they gave Utah State the business, and that was kind of embarrassing to all Utah State fans out there because a lot of people were like, "Yeah, UCLA ain't that great," and I was one of them, and.
I'm so glad I didn't pick Utah State. I was thinking about it. That was certainly one of the upsets I was looking at. Sorry, Tony's got me dying in the chat right now.
What do you say? I didn't look.
Bro just casually said he got a big ass head. He does.
Bro, hey, I'll be losing weight out here. All right. My head apparently doesn't want to lose any of that weight, but the tummy is.
You're gonna look like Megamind by the end of this challenge.
All right, now simmer down. Simmer down over here, guy. I'm actually looking at
like Utah State was an upset I was thinking about taking, and I'm so glad I didn't because at least the upsets that I took, like UCSD, all right, they were close. They were at least in it. Yale, all right, they were in it, lost by single digits. North Carolina was in it at the end, tried to make a comeback. If I picked an upset,
they looked like tonk in the first half, dude. Yeah, I don't even know what I just said. But they look terrible.
If I picked an upset in like Utah State or Liberty over Oregon, one of the ones where they lost by 30, I would have been very embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, I took Akron.
Luckily, that was. Yeah, but you were high on Akron, you know.
Yeah, I took Yale. I took UCSD.
Yeah. A lot of my upsets just did not hit. Actually, I haven't even
Drake
checked today.
Drake.
Yeah, Drake was a good one. I haven't even checked our bracket challenge. We ought to see who's in the lead right now.
Oh, for ours that we made together. Oh, the league one. Like it's not me. I had St. John's winning it all. I'm in 10th.
Well, first we'll take a look at our bracket that we did together. Actually doing some research and trying to really study down our picks.
How's our Final Four looking?
Well, our Final Four already has one eliminated.
Wait, we have one left?
We have 3 left, but we had one in the Final Four that got bounced in the first round. I want to see if you can guess it.
Yeah.
We had Clemson in the Final Four.
I forgot. See, I knew I should have went with my gut, dude. Brother, man.
I know. But we did okay.
Dude, we
got Auburn.
Right you're gonna win this.
We got Auburn. We got Creighton wrong. We got Michigan and A&M wrong. Ole Miss wrong. We got Iowa State over Lipscomb right. We got New Mexico was wrong, but we got Michigan State right. Florida, UConn. Did not get Colorado State. Did get Maryland. Got Drake, Texas Tech, St. John's. Did not get Arkansas over Kansas.
We didn't take Arkansas?
No, we had Kansas.
Bruh, I'm pretty sure I took Arkansas in every single bracket I made.
Except for the one that we actually did together to try to make good. We took Utah State over UCLA.
I don't even want to look at that bracket anymore. I don't even want to look at that bracket. I'm gonna look at your bracket.
Obviously we took Clemson. That was wrong. We got the entire. What region is this? All right, it doesn't show. Whatever region Duke is in.
You took Lipscomb.
Was that West?
What do you mean you said you would be embarrassed if you took a team that got blown out in the first round to upset. You took Lipscomb.
Yeah, but that was within like 5 minutes after the bracket got released. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I was hopped up on it. We were going crazy. I was tired. I didn't have my W energy.
Yeah, facts.
Which, speaking of W energy, yeah, if you need your it's a little bit of energy boost, whether it's for gaming, for pre-workout before you go to the
day
gym,
trading.
whether you got a long day at work, day trading, or whatever your day job may be, and you need that little extra boost to get through the day, go to w.gg, use code RFS at checkout, get 10% off your purchase. Bunches of flavors galore. You go to their shop, you could get a little sampler pack, a few random flavors, comes with a shaker bottle. They just released a content creator starter bundle, which comes with a shaker bottle, a 1 tub of the Blue Tropical Punch powder. So you got a whole bunch of Blue Tropical Punch flavoring that you can make. You got 5 assorted energy and hydration drinks, just little individual powders that you can throw right into your drink, and 3 W stickers in case you want to throw them on your laptop or on whatever. Content creator starter bundle.
So if you're start up a podcast like us, or maybe you're starting up a YouTube channel, it's just for you, or any kind of stream, any kind of, you're gaming, you're talking about life, you're talking about sports, you're talking about science,
whatever. Whatever maybe.
You get your content creator starter bundle, and you pop in the old code RFS. You're taking some money off that bad boy, and then 10% you're content creating.
Yep. So yeah, w.gg. Check out the flavors. They got a flavor for quite literally anybody.
Literally. Shout out.
So be sure to check out w.gg. Remember, code RFS at checkout for 10% off. So yeah, Bruce, we did get one side of the bracket completely right in the first round.
Really?
Whatever one Duke was in. What is that? The West? Whatever region Duke and Baylor and Arizona, whatever region that may be.
East.
We got, what is it?
East.
The East, the East, whatever. We did get the entire first round of the East right. Actually, our East bracket is perfect right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprised we didn't take Oregon over Arizona.
Yeah, no, we had Zona, and then we got we have Duke and BYU in our Elite Eight coming out of the East.
That's another team I'm riding with. I'm riding with Maryland and I'm riding with BYU. Those are my two.
Yeah. So right now our Elite Eight consists of Auburn and Michigan State, Florida and St. John's, which is obviously not going to happen, and it would be Tennessee, Clemson, and then Duke, BYU. But of course, Clemson also not in there. So it's looking all right.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, like we had some bumps in the first round, but our Final Four is still looking solid. Besides Clemson, let's see in the regular fan show.
Yeah, I think you're gonna win. Because Aunt Sonny is currently leading, but has St. John's winning it all.
Yeah, so sorry, Aunt Sonny, your coach. She's actually in Aruba right now with Uncle Bill, so she I don't think she's too worried about her bracket.
Yeah, it's gonna be either you or Mike Giyarap.
Mikey G, Jared Puto. And that's one of my old coworkers at the station. Jarapido, Japudu.
It'll be one of you two. It won't be me. I had St. John's winning it all.
Oh no, I'm assuming this other one that has Florida winning is our good buddy Mike D, who was on the stream on Sunday. He's got Florida winning. He's still in there.
Yo, RIP Big J, bro. 31 points and can only get 16.
Yup. I mean, that's what happens when you have Louisville winning the whole thing.
They had the Final Four as Louisville, UConn, Alabama, and Troy.
Oh, Jason.
And then they had the finals as
Louisville
Louisville
over
Troy.
Troy. Jason, I don't know what he was thinking there, but Big J's
I don't
bracket is
really
not
have
looking
any.
very good.
My best bracket left has Florida winning it all.
Okay.
That's the only one that I think
Yeah.
I have.
Of course,
3.
I mean, in all my money ones, I have Florida winning. I had one with St. John's winning it all, but that's obviously cooked. Let's see. In my 2 bracket groups that I'm doing for money, I'm currently in 14th in one, and I'm in 27th in the other one.
Yeah.
So it's not looking great.
And my Florida one's the only one that I have. Because I had to make a Florida one just for you. It's the only one I have a Final Four that's all still in right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Because I had Michigan State take down Auburn because I don't think Florida can.
You don't think Florida can beat Auburn?
No. I think Auburn's going to win it all, brother.
30?
I think Auburn's going to win it all, brother.
You do remember that Florida beat Auburn in Auburn by 30, right?
This year?
Yeah. I think it was by 30. Hold on.
Yeah,
I mean, again, it was the regular season.
Early season. Must have been early season because I do not recall that's taking place.
Or no, I'm sorry. It was a different team that they had beaten by 30, but they did beat Auburn in Auburn. They won by 9. And it was Auburn's first loss in SEC play.
Redemption.
Maybe. It is possible.
Redemption.
It was Tennessee. It was Tennessee that Florida beat at home by 30 when they were the number 1 seed or the number 1.
It was 73-43, right?
Yeah. But
see, I remember that game. That's why I knew that that did not happen to Auburn.
Yeah, there you go. But what did happen is Florida did beat them on the road. So either way, Florida wouldn't have to worry about Auburn unless they both made it to the Final Four anyway. They got to get through the Crab 5 first, which
yes, they do.
Which we will see. Hopefully, Walter Clayton Jr. has another big time performance.
Yeah, he's gotta. You guys are lost without him. But
I wouldn't say they're lost without him, but
you guys are like Alabama.
He is the leader of that group. What do you mean they're like Alabama?
You guys are lost without your best player.
In Gainesville, they play defense and they rebound.
My takes for this upcoming Sweet 16 are Auburn, Michigan State, Duke, BYU, Maryland, Arkansas, Kentucky, Houston.
Okay. I am going to take. I want to disagree with you on a couple here, so I guess I'll go with Alabama, even though I think BYU could certainly. I think BYU could certainly get the upset. I think Alabama at some point is going to crash and burn, whether it's this round or next round. I definitely don't see Alabama making the Final Four. Taking Florida over Maryland, Duke over Arizona, Arkansas, Texas Tech is tough. I'm going to go Texas Tech. I think Coach Cal is great, but I don't see him coaching this ragtag group of guys past the Sweet 16. Michigan State over Ole Miss. Well, what is that face?
Ragtag group of guys. What are you talking about, guys? This is a basketball team in the Sweet 16 over here, guy. We're not talking about. They were under 500 in Pennsylvania, dude. We're talking about.
They were under 500 in the SEC.
Coach Cal and March.
Coach Cal March. I'm still taking Texas Tech. For the Friday games, I'm taking Michigan State. I'm gonna roll with Tennessee over Kentucky. Give me Michigan over Auburn.
Of course, that's gonna be your one upset of the Sweet 16.
And I'll take Houston over Purdue as well.
Teams,
I like Michigan's chances,
bro. I mean, I've been as low can be on Michigan,
but listen,
Same with Purdue, but Purdue's
What
here too.
does
So,
yeah Purdue?
but
Yeah,
Purdue
I don't
also, I don't know.
I don't
I don't
love
know.
Purdue.
I think High Point and McNeese were just good enough to be able to beat them. They just didn't. If that made any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, Purdue's definitely not making it out this round. But
Yeah, no. I mean, Houston will
Michigan,
crash and burn at some point, and I think it could be to Tennessee or Kentucky.
yeah, I don't think it's right now, but Houston's definitely going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
I can never pick Houston to win it all because they always seem to find ways to blow it in the later rounds.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I don't get why you're so low on Michigan. I just feel like I'm not saying that I think Michigan is going to make the Final Four and win the whole thing, but I'm saying that I think they can beat Auburn because they match up so well against Auburn, who loves to
Auburn
play
is the
through Deny
best
Broom.
team in the country.
I wouldn't say that right now. I'd say out of all the 4 seeds that are left, they're the 4th best 1 seed.
Who's the first?
Duke. I would say Duke, Florida, Houston, and then Auburn. Auburn was not playing good basketball coming into the tournament.
Florida almost got bounced.
But they didn't.
Florida almost got bounced to a mid-UConn team.
Yeah, but that's a UConn team. That's a back-to-back champion. You know, I know that.
Back-to-back
champion.
I don't want. Yeah,
see, I know they might not have been a 1 seed again.
But now you can make excuses.
That's not an excuse. Dan Hurley might be a childish, sore loser. He's still a great coach.
He is,
and that's what
I'm
that
not
game
saying
came
he's
down
not a great coach. I'm just saying, I think Auburn is the best team in the country.
I don't know. I feel like Auburn has looked kind of shaky too. I mean,
Auburn has looked more so that they're just skating. They're not going balls to the wall. They're just kind of like, all right, let's move past these guys.
Here's the other thing too. If you want to make a Final Four, I don't care if you went undefeated up until the tournament. I don't care if you have the top 10 recruits in the country all on your team. You need to be battle tested in March before you make a Final Four.
I think
like
Creighton's
Auburn is
a good battle test.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Yes, Creighton is a good team and a good battle test, but I mean battle tested as far as like having a chance to lose. Like Auburn, you're right. They did kind of coast through that game. Creighton didn't give them that big of a scare. But like you look at that Florida UConn game you were talking about, Florida's down with like 3 minutes left.
Game.
Pretty much the entire game. Yeah, they were down or they were tied, and they couldn't get over that hump. They kept being down by 1, then down 3, down 1, back down 3, and then they got over that hump. That's the kind of stuff that you need to go through in this round of 32 or the Sweet 16 to be ready to face this, the top competition in the Final Four.
Well, you know who I think is worse? Is in a worse spot than Auburn is Duke. Duke is skated, dude. Duke is skated.
Yeah,
I think
Duke
Baylor's
really
a good team, but Baylor's on the same par as Creighton. They played Mount St. Mary's, who I think is worse than Alabama State. They are a young team. They're a young team that has not been tested in the tournament so far. I think that's a lot worse of a situation than what's going on in Alabama.
Well, I'll agree with you there because
Auburn,
Duke does need to be tested soon. As I'm sure. I don't know if you can hear the garbage trucks are outside. Perfect timing. Yeah, you're right. Duke definitely needs that like, oh shoot, we might go home moment, and maybe Arizona are the ones to give that to them, and maybe it might be too much for Duke to overcome because they're also banking on a lot of young players. I mean, Cooper Flag is obviously the best player in the nation, but he's still a freshman. Con Knippel, he's a freshman.
Tyrese Proctor's a freshman. No, Knippel's I'm pretty sure is a junior.
No, Knippel's a freshman.
Oh, Knippel's a freshman, or is Proctor a junior? And Proctor's a freshman.
Proctor's a junior, yeah.
Proctor's a junior. Knippel's a freshman.
Yeah, a lot of these guys that they're being led by, even the big 7'2" center Maluak, however you say his name,
I think it is.
He's a freshman. They're led by a lot of freshmen who don't have tournament experience.
Yeah, he's a freshie. It doesn't matter though because I mean it does. Like they're a great team, whatever. But like, I'm not just saying this, but like in that game against Baylor, like I swear every time that Cooper Flag. I mean, mind you, they would have probably won anyway because out of halftime, Tyrese Proctor came out and hit like 6 threes in a row. But in the first half, Baylor's hanging around, and Flag is getting every single call, whereas Baylor was getting whacked and not getting anything. So
Yeah.
it's like it's all
Flag did.
dependent.
Yeah, Flag did shoot almost as many free throws as Baylor as a whole.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Baylor had like 4 free throws in the first half. I'm pretty sure Cooper Flag shot like 24 or something.
Okay. The team shot 23. Cooper Flag shot 9, but to your point, yeah. Duke did have over double the total free throws that Baylor had. Flag did have, more free throws than he did field goals made. So it's certainly, I mean, I didn't watch the game, from start to finish. So you know better than me if Cooper Flag's really getting fouled every time he's getting touched.
I think that was the worst half of reffing in the whole tournament so far.
Really worse than St. John's and Arkansas.
I mean, that was pretty poor too.
I mean, there was 44 fouls between both teams in that game.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
That was just whistle happy. That was.
Yeah, but that
wasn't biasing one team though. That wasn't.
I'm not saying it was biased to one team, but what makes college basketball better than the NBA to some people is that they don't have those BS and soft fouls that the NBA players get called all the time. College hoops, they let the kids play, and that's what makes it so much more entertaining. And in that St. John's Arkansas game, that just wasn't the case. I mean, 44 fouls total. That's a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%. But I think my take on it is I was saying the worst like kind of bias in a sense of
there's definitely that want to have Duke in the Final Four because people will tune in to watch Cooper Flag, people will tune in to watch Duke. People want to see the best teams facing off in the Final Four.
But people also like a Cinderella.
That's true. But now we're kind of past that point, like Arizona beating Duke is not a Cinderella. They're a 4 seed.
Yeah, I know. I think the only Cinderella right now would be Arkansas.
I wouldn't even really I can't even call that a Cinderella. They got Coach Cal. But they got Coach Cal. It's not your typical
in this SEC.
I know. But it's not like your typical Cinderella of mid-major conference winner. They're not a Loyola Chicago. They're not a FAU of 2023.
Well, yeah.
They're an NCC school coached by one of the best college coaches of all time.
FAU was also a 9 seed.
Fair. You got me there. You got me there. I forgot that they were a 9 seed, but
yeah, I mean, I get the Loyola Chicagos, the FGCUs, the Davidsons.
Yeah, when we're talking Cinderella run, I mean, I just don't. Maybe it's because they have Coach Cal that I feel like I can't call them a real Cinderella run.
I mean, St. John's had Rick Pitino.
But they were a 2 seed.
UConn had Dan Hurley.
Yeah, but these aren't Cinderella
UConn
runs,
defending 2 times. I get that they're an 8 seed. I'm saying based on what brackets are given to us with the seeding, you have to consider Arkansas a Cinderella. And I get you considered FAU a bit of a Cinderella because of the conference they came out of.
Yeah, the conference also is what does it
exactly.
For
That's why. Who would be one for you right now? Who would be
a Cinderella right now?
Yeah,
I don't think there is.
There's
the biggest Cinderella.
They're all Power 5
right
schools.
Now would be, I guess the biggest Cinderella would be BYU, but I mean, even then, you're talking Big 12, and that's the thing. There's no Cinderellas at this point.
Yeah,
everybody is from a Power 5 conference. Everybody is a top 10 seed besides, Arkansas, top 10 seed. It doesn't have that.
You consider Cinderella below 10 or I think non-Power 5 school.
I would agree with that statement, yeah.
Okay. So I think just double digits, especially, you had to beat 7 seed Kansas, then you had to beat a 2 seed.
I see where you're coming from there. Yeah, because they having to go against a 2 and then follow that up with a 3,
Yeah.
and then who would they play? Then they would play Florida if Florida beats Maryland and they beat. So okay,
It would either be
I,
then it would be a 1 or a 4. So it would be 2,
yeah, from
3,
your
and 1 or 4.
yeah, all right, from that perspective, I see your point in calling them a Cinderella because of the seeds that they're facing. But
Yeah, I mean
I
that's
look
just
at
like
that
what I feel
Arkansas
like.
team and just knowing that they have Coach Cal on their sidelines, I can't think of them as that big of an underdog. Like I think
I
of a
mean, yeah, I
Cinderella as
wouldn't
a
say they're an
team.
underdog, but I feel like I wonder if there's a definition for
Definition for a
what
Cinderella
is
team.
the premise
But I feel like to
to
be a
be
Cinderella team, you got to be an underdog,
Cinderella
and I can't think of a team coached
team
by Coach Cal as underdogs.
madness? A
But
Cinderella
I
team
see.
in March Madness is a lower seeded team that exceeds expectations by making a deep run in the tournament, often reaching the Sweet 16 or beyond, defying the odds and becoming a story of the tournament.
See, is Arkansas the story of the tournament?
Cinderella teams are typically teams 11 seed or lower.
So they agree, 11 or lower.
In
I
2018,
I
16
would
seed UMBC. In
yeah.
2021, when UCLA made the Final Four as an
Yep.
11. And then last year, when NC State made the Final Four as an 11
Oh,
seed.
yeah, I forgot about NC State. Like, I see
I mean,
your
if they
point.
make the Final Four, I feel like you got to kind of consider them a bit of a Cinderella.
I mean,
If they go through Texas Tech and then either Maryland or Florida,
again, I see your point in that it's kind of giving that Cinderella energy that, they're facing. I mean, they'd be facing a
it
top
might also
4
be me
seed
kind of
in
trying to
Colorado.
just make a Final Four, or make a
Yeah.
Cinderella, because this season doesn't really have one, and I love
Yeah.
Cinderellas.
Yeah, it's like out of all the options, they're the best
I mean, New
Cinderella
Mexico almost
team.
pulled it off. If they would have taken down Michigan
Yeah.
State, Drake
Yeah, see,
didn't look
like,
terrible at first. It
New
would have been
Mexico is a
Colorado
team that
State.
I would've I would have considered New Mexico more of a Cinderella than Arkansas had
It
New
was gonna
Mexico
be
still won.
Colorado State. It was
Yeah,
like
Colorado State would have been
that's
the Cinderella if they didn't lose to Maryland.
everyone. That's I mean, realistically, it skipped my mind, but that's why a lot of
Yeah.
people were mad when Maryland and Queen hit that buzzer
Mhm.
beater, because we do not have a by the
Yeah.
book Cinderella anymore.
Yeah, and as much as that sucks because everyone loves having that Cinderella team to root for, maybe it's because I'm also biased that for once, like, my team is good and is one of those top teams that I want to win. Like, I'm not rooting for Cinderellas. I'm rooting for, the Gators to win, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm at this point, I'm just hoping for good games. Like, I don't really care that we don't have these, mid-major schools going on Cinderella runs. Like, I'd rather see in who's like a top format in Duke, Arizona. I'd rather see Duke, Arizona have a good competitive game that comes down to the wire than see Akron make a crazy run to the Sweet 16 and then get blown out by 40 by Duke. You know what I mean? Like,
You
the
would
Cinderella
rather
runs
see
are,
that to be a good game than Akron to make the Sweet 16.
yeah, because if Akron makes the Sweet 16 and then gets blown out,
Well, what if
what's
they
the
don't get
point? You're
blown out?
giving Duke a free.
What if they
No,
just
yeah, of
lose?
course, of course, that's always a possibility. But I mean, look, even after going on a Cinderella run like that, I still wouldn't have that much confidence in a team that won 2 straight underdog games to then beat one of the best teams in the country. Like, I'm just looking for good competitive games at this point. I don't really care that much anymore about the Cinderella stuff since we have no more. If there was a Cinderella team left, yeah, of course I'm gonna root for them. But if there's nothing, then give me some good basketball. Give me more buzzer beaters, give me more clutch time possessions.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think like this round we'll have a lot of really close, good games. Like I think Texas Tech, Arkansas will be close. I think Kentucky,
Mhm.
Tennessee will be close. I think Florida,
BYU,
Maryland will be
Bama.
close. I don't think Houston, Purdue will be close.
No.
BYU,
Auburn,
Bama,
Michigan.
yeah. Ole Miss, Michigan State. I personally don't think Auburn will be necessarily close to Michigan, but don't count your chickens before they hatch. And then I also don't think Arizona would be. I think that'll be like a 15-point game. But
Yeah, well,
again,
it depends what version of Caleb Love we get.
exactly. If
Caleb Love
Caleb Love
takes
goes
over.
out there and drops 40,
Yeah.
then
Who knows? I mean, it's looking like it's going to be a good round, but it's crazy how it's been 1 week, not even. It's been 5 days since March Madness started, and we're already down from 64 to 16 teams.
I mean that's how it is every year, though.
Yeah, it's just
It
crazy
is
how
wild,
fast it
though. It
goes,
is
and then
wild. It goes so quick.
a week from today, we'll be down to 4.
Yep. I
So
do. I do.
it's
I
exciting
do
times.
hate that there's not like there's nothing right now. Like there's nothing like yesterday, today,
Mhm.
tomorrow. I mean, there's the NIT. I don't even know if the NIT is going on today. Is the NIT going on today? Like it's.
I don't know. Let's be honest. Who cares
It's.
about the NIT?
I mean, I
For
agree, but I
the
want to watch
people,
college hoops. It's like
yeah, for like the people in the NIT and the teams that are. Let's see. Here's the NIT. Yeah, we do have games tonight. We have Chattanooga versus Bradley at
yo
7, and
shout out Chattanooga.
North Texas versus Oklahoma State at 9.
There we go. We got
All right,
college
at least there
basketball to
is still
watch
some
tonight.
college hoops. Like, if you ask me, I don't really care about the NIT because
I mean,
they're not
realistically, I
playing for
don't
anything.
either. But it's like.
But you're right. It is college hoops to watch, and they should
And
be
think
good
about it.
games, I
It's
would
these
think.
teams that you look at the bracket, the NIT bracket. Why can't okay, I just want. Let me. Thank you. Like these teams that they had a great season, and then because they're like we talked about a month ago,
Yep.
teams like Chattanooga, teams like George Mason, teams like San Francisco, teams
UC
like UC
Irvine.
Irvine. Like
Yep.
there's these teams that we've discussed that potentially probably could have been in March Madness but didn't get their chance. So then you see those teams like
Hmm.
Chattanooga, George. I mean, George
Yeah.
Mason lost to Bradley, but they also had a piss poor first half. But um like
Yeah, that is
that's
the
what I'm
cool thing
saying.
about the NIT. Like
Yeah.
it's
I mean, I
it's
don't
one
even
more
know what the
chance for these
CIT
guys to
is.
play postseason basketball.
What is the
That's what it comes
CIT?
down to. You're not winning. You're not in the dance like you would have liked to be, but it does give these guys a chance to at least continue playing for a little bit. And I'm sure a lot of them do, like you said, go into this NIT with a chip on their shoulder, thinking that
Yeah.
they should have been in the tournament and, that they had more to prove. Like I'm sure UC Irvine went into this NIT tournament thinking like they want to destroy teams and show everyone that they should have been in March
Same with
Madness. But
Chattanooga.
yeah.
I
So at
mean,
least it should make for good games. At least there's still stuff on tonight. I know I don't know if there's games in the women's bracket tonight.
there is because the women or no, there's not. There's not because
No,
the
not
women
until
started a day
Friday.
later, so they're.
Yeah, so Friday we have more women's. But did you see the Juju Watkins injury? Just to touch on that real quick.
No.
She tore her ACL. It's a ugly looking ACL tear
Oh,
too.
I did actually see this.
But
I didn't look
just
too much into
absolutely
it.
freaking brutal for the women's tournament and for women's college basketball. Like there's still a
How'd
lot
it
of stars
happen?
out there just driving right, knee buckled, had to get carried off the court. And it sucks because USC, a number 1 seed in the women's tournament, obviously Juju's
Mhm.
probably the best player in college basketball on the women's side of things outside of like maybe Paige Beckers, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was brutal blow. But did you see in the first round UConn beat Arkansas State by almost what do they win? They won by 89, I want to say.
Yeah, I did see that because the spread. There was a game. I don't remember what the game was. There was a spread that was like 80.5.
It might have been that game. Let me see if I can find where the spread opened there. Yeah. Okay, so the spread opened for UConn against Arkansas State at minus 44.5.
Okay. I don't.
Against South
Okay, maybe
Dakota
I'm.
State, the spread opened at 26.5 for UConn, which is
Maybe
still
somebody like
ridiculous.
photoshopped it. Then.
Maybe it was a no. Maybe it was it might have been South Carolina,
No, it
Tennessee.
wasn't. I just looked at that.
No, that was 45.5.
Yeah, maybe it was. Maybe it was just
Maybe, but
some
still, I
random.
mean, getting favored by 40 points is still ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane.
I'm trying to
Just to
see. Maybe
say
it
the
could have been
very,
Duke
very least.
Lehigh. No, that was 20. No, that was 30.5. But yeah, some of
Yeah,
some of
it
these
might have just
scores are
been
just
something
ridiculous.
photoshopped that somebody made, but
Well, I mean, Texas opened at 45.5 favorites over William and Mary. Like there's some ridiculous spreads here
yeah.
in the women's bracket. Notre Dame is another team that
The leading
certainly
scorer for Fairfield went to a school that I cover. I think. Wait,
there
was
you
she not the leading scorer? Yes, she was the leading scorer.
go. But yeah, still should be some, entertaining games out of the women's bracket. You still have Paige Beckers and UConn, Haley Van Lith and TCU taking on Notre Dame on the 29th at 1 p.m. That should be a good one. So it sucks seeing Juju go down because seeing a potential Juju Watkins versus Paige Beckers matchup in the Final Four or the Elite Eight, I mean, would have been no, it would have been the Final Four if they made it. That would have been sick to see, but
And
unfortunately,
there's been
not
no
gonna
like upsets in women's
Yeah, I
either.
mean I feel like that's usually how the women's
That's
brackets goes.
usually
It's
I
like
agree.
all chalk until you get to the Final Four, and then some
South
things start
Carolina
happening.
wins it all.
But what's crazy is no, LSU is there. Okay, I was gonna say I don't see LSU here, but they're still
They're
they're
playing
still
NC
balling.
State, yeah. Geez, South Carolina favored by 18 to
Yeah,
Maryland.
and then UConn, what are they favored by against Oklahoma?
14
14.
and a half.
Jeez, imagine being a 3 seed and getting underdogged by 14 and a
No
half against the
respect at
2.
all.
Uh,
What are actually the
insane stuff.
spreads in the just really quickly in the men's? I didn't
Yeah, we
look.
did not touch on the spreads. I know Florida's favored by 6.5 against Maryland.
Alabama by
Um,
5.5 against BYU. Duke
yep,
9.5 against Arizona. Texas Tech 5.5 against Arkansas. Michigan State 3.5 against Ole Miss. Tennessee 4.5 against Kentucky. Auburn 8.5 against Michigan. Houston 7.5 against Purdue.
yeah. So certainly, certainly
All
some
the
tight
favorites.
spreads
All the
there.
favorites are favorited.
Yeah, makes sense. But should be exciting stuff. Can't wait for Thursday to get back into some March Madness games. But Bruce, anything else you want to touch on March Madness wise today?
No, March has been phenomenal. I
It has
love
been.
March Madness despite the fact
It's
that there's no, it doesn't matter. There's no Cinderellas really. Doesn't matter. It hasn't been any crazy games. It's
yeah.
just March Madness. March is
Despite
March. You know.
Yeah, despite not having the no Cinderellas like you were saying, really it's been kind of underwhelming in that aspect. It's still been March Madness. It's still
Yeah.
fun to watch. Even though some of these games have been blowouts, it's still fun to watch. Like it's March Madness. It is the greatest tournament in sports. And now we're
Exactly.
getting down to the nitty gritty final 16. Now I think we're gonna start getting some really good competitive games with some really good teams. So very much looking forward to it, and looking forward to see how our brackets end up. Maybe we still have a chance.
Yeah. I got. I mean, most of mine are Auburn winning. I got one Florida and I got one Maryland. So.
Okay, so at least
And I had
all
one
your winners are
McNeese, but
still
that
alive.
was an upset bracket.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, mine are all well, I only have 3, but they're all Florida. St. John's is already done.
Oh
So
yeah,
we'll
I
see.
had St. John's in one too. So
Yeah, that was brutal. I feel bad. Tori had St. John's winning in hers. I convinced her to make a bracket, and she had St. John's winning, and now that they lost, she's like, I'm done. I'm never watching this again. Like you say that, just wait till next
That's
year.
when you lose her. That's when you lose her.
Yeah. No. I was just wait till next year.
Yeah, you'll have 10 next year.
Yup. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap things up then here on the regular fan show. A little bit of a March Madness special, if you will. We'll be back on, let's see,
Whenever.
Saturday. Right now we are scheduled to go live again Saturday morning. Work and stuff. It's another busy week, but we're continuing to grind, continuing to find time when we can. Maybe even a Sunday afternoon special could be in the works. We'll figure it out. But right now we'll be back on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Talk a little bit more March Madness, maybe talk some NFL offseason, some MLB, because the regular season does start on Thursday. Just to touch on that real quick. MLB baseball is back on Thursday. So we'll have it all for you on the regular fan show on Saturday. But once again, check out W Energy, W.GG. Use code RFS at checkout. Save 10% on all your energy powder needs. No caffeine, no sugar, none of that artificial stuff. Just good, clean energy using cherry extract.
Cherry extract, baby. Hell yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Shout out Tony in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by, brother. Always a good time having you in the chat. And thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. For Vinny Fredericks and Bruce Juno, signing off. More of the regular fan show coming Saturday morning. Hit that like, subscribe, follow, all the great stuff. We'll be back Saturday.
Ding the bell. Peace out.
Ding the bell. Peace.